goes like that. My is very random, right? But my title in my description in the YT channel is accident and incident. But I am not talking with accident and incident directly. Okay. Later I will be able to change the title, right? Because I'm not talking really based on the title, but it's okay. Really, it's a choice, right? But I have to. Okay. Because I want my viewers and my listeners not to be confused and misguided with the titles that I made in my channel. Okay, sorry for that. A bigger apology because I'm very, very talkative and talking to other things. But I think also it can help others also for little information that you gain for that talkings or discussions or sharing information. Okay, like now we are going to now to discuss what the accident and incident is all about. Okay, allow me to act as one of your instructors now in OSH. I am engineer Sotero Nepomuceno Jr., OSH engineer and a chemical engineer. So allow myself to be your instructor at this moment in time. Okay, I will manage myself to discuss to you in a substantial manner or in a detailed fashion as much as I could. I hope you could be open-minded to this. Some of you cannot understand the terms if you are not OSH field, but if you are in the OSH field, then you are very, very good for this. But you can still listen also, okay, if you wanted to, okay. But to those who are first timers to receive the information that I will be able to share with you, then that would be fine and it will be more good, okay. Topic or subject for this moment in time, gosh, is incident and accident investigation and reporting. As I said earlier, I don't want to have a scripted live streaming. So what comes on my mind, what comes on my brain, I will be able to talk to you directly. And forgive me if my words are scrambled at any time, okay, and my tongue is twirled sometimes, and I don't have a perfect grammar sometimes also, but please forgive me as long as the words are properly enunciated, then you can easily comprehend also and understand what I am talking to you, right? Okay, then if you have something to clarify after this discussion, then you can tell to me in my messenger. You can chat me personally also, so that I will issue an area in my YT title description. Okay, this video. Okay, like that. I'm holding right now is just a folder, a plastic folder, and I have things to be discussed right now. Though it's written only the most important part that I'll be able to do later on. It's very clear that our subject and topic of this moment in time is incident and accident reporting and investigation. But before that, we need to extract first the definitions of these four terms before going further. Okay, guys? Okay. What is an accident? What is an incident? What is reporting? And what is investigation? Then you have to know the difference of this four first before we can clearly understand the significance of the contents that I will be able to share with you, so that we can have a proper atmosphere of learning information and you can easily understand also what I'm talking to you. Okay, so normally I can talk to you fast, but I'll try my very, very best to talk slowly so that we can easily understand with each other in this interactive way of sharing information in a virtual form of sharing information. Okay, like that. If you don't have any activities out there and you found boring in surfing your Facebook accounts and towing your Instagram and looking at your Twitter accounts or whatever you're doing right now, then you can also look at this video, because you can also have a little information about the topic of accident and incident reporting investigation, which is a part of one of the elements of the safety program. Okay, like that. So first, What is an incident? Anybody can answer what's the meaning of incident all about? Okay. I don't have the board also to write. I don't have the complete visual aids. I'm just only purely talking. And I know you can understand my English, right? My enunciation, my pronunciation, and everything. I know you can understand that too. Okay, I don't have the eraser. I don't have the marker and the chalk. CHALK, chalk, right? Chalk is a combination of, it's a mixture of calcium carbonate, something like that. The white color, it comes from, the raw material mainly is calcium carbonate. Limestone. Oh my gosh. I want to share that also so that we have an information also about the composition of a chalk, CHALK. Okay? The one that the teachers uses in their discussion, a white color that is a vertical, like, what do you call that one? Chalk, okay, like this one, okay? But this is a ball pen, right? But it's a chalk, white color used in the writing in the board. When we are in the elementary level, in the high school level, like that, blah, 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 so and so. Okay. Now, before we're going to the proper discussion, we need to understand that there are certain sections and parts by parts in doing the discussion for this incident and accident and reporting and investigation. But actually, I don't have a plan to vlog this one, okay? Because I already done making the procedure for this last 3 days ago, okay? Incident and accident reporting and investigation procedure. I'd already made that one, and then thanks to God, in making that one, I also have the knowledge to discuss to you because it's totally the same, right? Okay, so though it's not perfect to share what's really reflected in that procedure, sometimes will be, I forgot, but I will try my very, very best. The most important main topic, the most important thing I will be able to discuss to you. Okay, accident. Okay, if you said about accident, it is an unforeseen, meaning we cannot predict. So meaning to say, unpredictable. Okay, so this is also unexpected, a thing that you will never expect to happen, something like that. Others will say that it's a fate, F-A-T-E, that the Lord God gave you. Others will say it happens because of your negligence, carelessness, and errors. But others will say because he lacks of sleep, that's why it happens, or so many things in his mind, that's why accident happens. Okay. A combination of that could be considered also. It's unexpected, unforeseen, okay, and most of all, this is unwanted and undesirable. Meaning to say, we don't want that to happen because that is undesirable, meaning it is not good for us, okay, like that. So it is an undesirable and unwanted event. An event could always be a situation, okay, a scene, what's happening, so that's an event, okay, the impact on what had happened, that is event, okay, like that. So it is an unforeseen, unexpected, unwanted, undesirable event which results in, remember the word which results in, meaning to say it has a result, okay, which results in any forms of losses, okay, losses. It could be a human lives lost. It could be a loss of a property, something like it could be a loss of the cost of a certain damaged equipment, like that. Losses, any forms of losses, okay? It could result to damage to properties, damage to equipment, damage to the environment, and the interruption to normal operation, okay? That is also an accident, okay? And to the combination of the loss of the morale. Morale meaning the people itself, okay? We lost our morale. We don't have now the courage to do well because accidents are always keep on happening. Of course, we lose our morale to do good things or to be safe at all the time because our morale is very low, okay? The way we treat that kind of job, that it's relevant for us. Okay? We consider our job already as no longer relevant to us because our morale is very low. Okay, so it's also considered in the accident. It's also an impact, the damaging our morale. Okay, or the loss of the reputation of a certain entities companies, factories, or whatever. So the reputation will be coming low because, for example, if this company A have so many accidents and this company B have a lesser accidents, so the reputation, of course, of this company A will be better than B, something like that, because we have a lesser accidents records. So reputation managed also because we will be producing a product that a consumer will buy to your product. Okay, so like this, if a company has a bad reputation regarding the quality, regarding the safety, then of course they will not choose that kind of company for them to buy those services and products, right? It's common sense. Okay, so that's why it's a loss of reputation. For the people, it's a loss of the morale, like that. So that is accident. Okay, so meaning to say there's a clear impact and clear consequence if that is an accident. Meaning you can see in your naked eye the damage it brought after the accident has happened. So it could be an injury, a physical injury, or it could be a loss of life, the death, or it could be a very big damage to the raw materials, or it could be a big damage to the products, like that, or it could be a very, very, very big damage to the equipment, facilities, technology, or whatever, chua. So that is accident. Okay, it's very clear now, huh? The clue there is unplanned, unwanted, undesirable events that has impact and consequence that can be seen by our naked eye. Okay, that's accident. Now, we will talk about incident. So what is the difference? Anybody? Oh my gosh, we're gonna talk. So incidents is a little bit lower impact and consequence compared to the accident. So this is still also unforeseen, unpredictable, unexpected, unwanted, unplanned events. Okay, remember the term English is very important also in definition. Remember that one. So that could, meaning could, it's not really that certain, okay, that it will happen, that it will produce results. That could lead to something like that, okay? Unplanned, unforeseen, unwanted, undesirable events that could lead to losses, injuries, damage to properties, interruption to normal operation, loss of morale, okay, and loss of reputation, my tongue twirled, and a combination of all. So the thoughts are mainly the same one, but there could be a possibility and the impact is minimal that could lead to, or that has a chance to result, okay, chance or probabilities or possibility, something like that. It could have an impact but very less impact that will be happening, okay, like that. So that's incidents, very clear, okay, like that. So it's possible that an incident could not result also to injury as long as there's a small damage. For example, if I damage my microphone, okay, like this, I will sing Whitney Houston's song, and I will always love you. Suddenly, too much extreme high note, then it will fall to the floor. So, but then, the microphone is not damaged. But there's a little bit scratch on the parts of the microphone, so that's an incident, something like that. But if the microphone already damaged everything, that it will not function the same as normal, so that is accident. Okay, because interruption to normal operation. The operation of this microphone is to deliver sound to be intensified when a singer sings a song. Then it will not the same. It will not give the same purpose already as before. Then it's already interrupted. The normal interruption of the operation of this microphone. So that is accident already. Okay, so that's the difference. There's a clear input and output, impact and consequences. That is incident. Do I have to repeat the definition for that or no? No need. So that's very self-explanatory, right? You can understand the clear definition of what is really an accident and what is really an incident. Okay, like that. And now we go to the reporting. So what do you mean by reporting? So in your own analysis and understanding, or with your own comprehension, reporting normally involves the sound, okay? The sound, okay, and the through written. So there are two ways, okay? Written and delivering a sound, verbally or in written communication, you can do the reporting, okay, of course, like that. So your main purpose of reporting is to be able to gather data information, okay, a certain situation. For example, if you are trying to report sports activities in a particular area, if you're a newscaster, then you have to deliver a flash report for that. For example, a championship of the volleyball, basketball, then they have to go there and witness how they perform the kind of championship of the volleyball or basketball, and they have to report that on the TV. Flash report, blah, 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 so and so. So that is an example of reporting. You have to have a data input on what you have saw, okay, and then you report them completely, okay, like that. So that will be a verbal report, okay, because you see in actual, then you have to report that and somebody listens at you, okay. There's an audience and listeners also, okay. But if we are having the reporting through written, through papers also, it doesn't have necessarily an audience directly on the spot, but virtual audience will do, just like this. Okay, I have to write paper in my paper like this, and I have to scan it and send that to everybody, especially in the organization. If we have an incident, an accident that will be happening. So that is a written or electronic way of delivering the report, something like that. So that is written report. Okay, so there's a difference. Okay, but all will be called as reporting system. Now, what are the background in making that report to be more successful? Okay, you have to be alert that in reporting, you have to use your senses. Okay, of course, sense of sight, sense of hearing, okay, sense of touch, sense of smell, of course, if it's necessary, right? During, to be used in the investigation, right? Okay? All your senses will be used in the reporting, especially on the spot and verbal reporting. Okay, then you have to couple it with the 5W and 1H. What is that? What, where, when, why, how, something like that. So if you have that knowledge, so that would be a perfect way of reporting verbally to a certain individual that you're trying to report with, okay? Especially to whatever job you have now. So that is a verbal report. The written report also will be on the documentation, but still have the same output, okay? Like that. So I think if we try to compare what is the most way of reporting, it could be a verbal or written, so there's no such to choose, okay. It's all requirement for reporting. It should be a combined verbal reporting and a written reporting to have a final documentation out of it, okay, something like that. So that is reporting, okay. Anybody, did you understand what I'm talking to? So meaning to say, there's a data information gathered and you will deliver that information to anybody else. So you can relay the message through the data gathered. So that is reporting. Okay, so that they will know what's happening, what's going on, like that. Okay, now the last term will be the investigation. Okay, again, the investigation could either be also a verbal investigation, okay, through on the spot initial and final investigation, and also the written investigation through statement reports or the data gathered or collected from the witnesses, like that. I'm talking of witnesses because we are dealing with incident and accident reporting and investigation, okay? Just like that, the definition of investigation. So investigation could either be on the spot or either in a form of paper or documentation also, okay? But you cannot do the investigation properly without going to the actual incident scene. You have to go to on the spot. Okay, the first thing to do is you be able to have the initial investigation going there immediately. Okay, on the spot of what's really happening, and you have to gather the data, you have to ask questions to the involved parties, okay, the witnesses, why it happened, how it happened, like that, investigate. So that would be your source of initial investigation. You will take photos of the property that has been damaged, the injury, like that. You have to take photos, and I think you'll be able also to take videos if you wanted to. Okay, small videos only, short videos only, I mean. And then if there's a CCTV camera, that would also help for the initial investigation. Okay, to make your report more reliable and credible. Okay, now after the initial investigation, everything, and then you have the final investigation, then there will come the written investigation because you collected already the data information. So that would be your final investigation there, and papers already together with the certain relevant personnel involved in the particular incidents and accidents, and there will be a sort of meeting, but they are bringing now the papers in their tables, checking one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. A, person B has its own papers already gathered in the initial investigation. We have the final investigation. Now we are here to consolidate what's really happening and how it happened. And we are not here to do the blame. We are not here to keep on arguing what's facts. Okay? We are here to conduct a final investigation based on the factual data information. That it's not really talking on the cost that you'll be able to sanction this one because you hit. But it's not, the purpose only is to gather the factual data information so that we can come up with the best and effective root cause analysis. That's why it happens, so that it will not happen again. Okay, or there will be no more accidents and incidents will be happening in that particular place, something like that. So, in that data investigation, it helps a lot, okay, in having your root cause analysis. If you have that root cause analysis, then you can easily have your corrective and preventive measures out of that situation. Okay, it's very clear, right? So, we're going now to the introduction. Oh my gosh, it's very lengthy, right? So that's not yet the introduction. My gosh. And I'll be able to do the introduction, the objectives, the scope, the resources, ano ba yan? The roles and responsibilities, and then the summary. Like that. And if we need some illustrations also to better understanding, then I can also, okay, so do the illustrations. And because illustrations would help a lot to understand also what kind of accident, what kind of incident is that, like that, blah, blah, blah. So you can understand, oh my gosh, that's an example of motor vehicle. Oh, that's an example of a slip, trip, and fall accident. Oh, that's an example of a fire and explosion accident. So it's very clear, it will add proper comprehension also if we can have the pictures and photos that I could be able to show somewhere along the way with my discussion. But now I am really talking only. All you have to do is to extract the tape like that. Okay, introduction. Oh my gosh, it's just an oratorical contest. There's an introduction. Oh my gosh. Okay. Accident and incident reporting and investigation is a reactive way approach of obtaining the root cause analysis. Through a root cause analysis, we can come with our corrective and preventive measures so that incident and accident will not be happening again in the future, or we can stop the incidents and accidents from happening and occurring in a certain workplaces. Because if there are accidents that would cause too much damages and too much losses of the company, something like that. And it could also lower the morale of the employees. It can decrease the efficiency of the employees. It can also decrease the level of the quality outputs. And most of all, it can have a great impact for the business operations, for sustainability and endurability. Oh my gosh! Tama ba yun? Endurability? Is there a term, endurability? Okay, that's your assignment. My God, that's your assignment, because I think that endurability and sustainability have just the same meaning, but I think endurability is non-existent word. Just use that in parallel to sustainability. Okay, I'm not really sure. Okay, meaning sustainability meaning your operation will endure for a long period of time. Okay, like that, with less or without losses, we have better profitability like this, then your business will endure for a long period of time. Then the people are working safely, nobody got injured, and the quality of your products and services are always effective and good also. So meaning that it's highly sustainable, something like this. The meaning of that in a clear perspective, what is sustainability about? Just like environmental sustainability, okay, for our resources, natural resources, the water, the land, something, air we breathe, and then if there is a less pollution around our environment, then it's having a high sustainability for our ecosystem, the interaction of organisms to our nature. As I said earlier, right? And human being is one of the examples also of an organism. Okay? Like that. Okay? So this is very clear for our introduction. Oh my gosh. Like that. Okay, so to prevent injuries and harm, we need to report all unsafe conditions, all unsafe situations, unsafe actions, dangers, hazards, IDLH. You know what is IDLH all about? Okay, IDLH, this is a technical term for OSH. OSH, Occupational Safety. yung ba yan? So this is an exposures to air contaminants or air particulates that will cause adverse health effects to human beings, that can cause death, permanent or delay, threat to human life, like that, and prevent escape from the unaided hazardous work environment, like this. So that is the perfect definition of IDLH, imminent danger to life and health. So you have to remove that before working in certain workplaces in different industries. I'm talking generally for different industries. It could be in construction industry, it could be a manufacturing industry, it could be any types of industries that will be able to work, okay? That's general, okay? We need to remove this, IDLH, okay? If there are certain dangers, hazards, or whatever, okay? Like that, okay? So through that, if you remove that, so there's a greater possibility that incidents and accidents will not be happening. Okay, so there will be no injuries that will be happening, and there will be no losses also, of course. Then our profit of our business operations are working very much high. Okay, like that. Okay, now we are talking to you. What are the effects of accidents to workers? Okay, and I'll be talking also to you what are the effects of accidents to employers. Okay, that's why they hired OSH professionals to do their job, because they have a great role or impact in a certain organization. Because without that department, so this will be disorganized, and then that would have so many losses after all. Okay, if there's no safety department in a certain organization, they can do anything what they wanted to. They can do a lot of shortcuts. They can do a lot of improper methodologies in doing the job. They can do a lot of improper procedures. There's no unauthorized entry, okay, in a certain critical operation. There's no certain unauthorized, in the doing this equipment. Anybody can operate the equipment, even if the people are not trained, even if the people are not competent. So there's no restriction. Okay, that's why safety comes in. Okay, the role of the OSH professional is very important. Okay, it's very high. So that's why we are given a separate entity or separate body or separate department to govern. We have an autonomy department. Okay, in fact, we are a weapon to help increase the productivity and the profitability of the business operations. Okay, And we can help also to maintain the reputation of any business operation as part of the objectives of OSH. Okay, so what are those effects of accidents to the workers? We start with the mild one. Okay, we start with pain and suffering. Okay, if you have injuries, normally we will feel pain and suffering. Okay, normally if you have injuries, we have could either be permanent or temporary disability. Okay, if there will be accidents happening, there will be a change of social life. Okay, what do you mean by this? You can no longer do things before and now the same because you don't have now the complete structure of your body. You lose your finger, you lose other feet, and you will be ashamed in engaging to those people who have complete parts of their body. So that's change of social life. So you will be ashamed like that. So change of social life. You cannot do things actively compare as before because you have incomplete parts of your body due to permanent injury like that. Okay, so change of social life. What else? You can have loss of your earning capacity. Loss of your earning capacity because you have now less efficiency as an individual. You are not efficient anymore to do the task because you lose your one feet, you lose your one hand, so you are not efficient compared as before. Okay, like that. So a possibility that you will lose your earning capacity. So you could not gain any more money out of that to be used in your family for your financial survival. So good if you have a lot of investments before, okay, while you are working and you are still young. But what if you are not saving money when you are still young, when you are working before, and you meet an accident that causes you to become permanent instability, permanent disability, not instability. Instability and disability, I think it's the same. No, it's not. Permanent disability. I'm talking of instability, meaning not stable. Okay, but disability, talking on the physical structures of the body. Okay, so if you have permanent disability, so you can lose your loss of earning capacity. Okay, because you are now less efficient or due to loss of efficiency or lesser efficiency as a worker or as an employee. Okay, that's number 4. Number 5, loss of income. Why? Because there's a loss of productivity. Okay, why? If that company will closure, bankrupt, or it cannot operate the same as before, then you cannot receive the same salary as you receive as before. Like that. Okay? So there's a chance you will lose your income. Or there will be no more jobs at all. So the company will be closed. Okay, so you will lose your income because of loss of productivity. So there's loss of production in a particular plant, so the plant will be totally closed because of a major accident that is not solved. And have a poor, safe system of work. Okay, that's why it happens. Okay, and the accident being produced is very damaging. Okay, very worst, and it can destroy. Normally, you will lose your income, okay? Because there's a loss of productivity. So there's no products anymore to be released in the market, okay? So that's very clear. Again, the effects of accidents to workers are, okay, social change, okay? Change of social behavior, okay? Change of social life, the same thing. Permanent temporary disability, okay, pain and suffering. Of course, you will feel pain if you are in a disease, sickness after the accident. If you feel injured, you will maintain your medicines, okay, intake, your maintenance of medicines, because you will feel pain when your disease will come again. Very painful in my heart, I have a heart attack, and you have to drink or to take your medicine. So that's pain, example of pain and suffering after the accident. Maintenance of your medicines, right? Pain and suffering, number 3. Okay. Number 4, loss of income, self-explanatory. I discussed that already. Loss of earning capacity. So 5. There will be a general 5 effects to the workers if accidents will be happening. See how accident really is. So we need to troubleshoot our effective corrective and preventive measures so that no accidents will be happening, because as I said earlier, all causes of accidents are highly preventable. Okay, like that. Okay, now we will discuss the effects of accidents to the company or to the employer. Okay, if we have the effects to the workers, there are also effects to the company or the owners of the company or employers. The first is the loss of use or the loss of the company. Of course, if it is bankruptcy, they will no longer use that company. So loss of use in the company. Loss of time, loss of production. Maybe they can produce lesser now because, for example, a lot of people in a particular production area, nobody can produce the same output as before. So the productivity are lesser now before. Okay, the output and the productions are affected. So there will be a loss of time. Okay, number 3, there will be a litigation expenses. Okay, litigation expenses meaning we have to pay cost in the legal requirements to the government. Okay, like that, because you did not comply. Okay, for example, for the certain investigations like that, you did not give the medical claims to the people, and the company will pay money for the court, for the hearings, like that, a lot with the lawyers. So that is litigation costs. If the accident will become big, and then the person is very clever, very smart, very intelligent, and he will act to complain against the employer, and he will file a case against the employer, and he will go to the court versus the employer, employee versus the owner of the company, then this litigation cost will be there. It's more on the legal process. So the company will lose also this kind of litigation expenses. Okay? Number 5. Okay, liability. Okay, the company will give the claims for a lot, for example, the payment for the what do you call this one? Repatriation costs. Okay, going back to their country of origin, like that, they will give that also. The compensation wages of the salary or the services or the length of service of that employee. For example, if that employee was undergoing an accident that is very fatal and the employee was died, then the family will receive the compensation and wages and length of service fee or anything that's part of liability claims of the company to the deceased person. Okay, that's an example of liability claims. Number 6, insurance premiums. Okay, if this employee has so many insurance premiums, okay, during the application, and the company signed for it, or the company binds firms to the safety of this guy, then the insurance firms will pay money for that. Okay, that is insurance premiums. For example, accident release fees, like that. Okay, accident premiums. Okay, because of permanent stability, disability, or disability, like disability, not disability. Okay, sorry, like that. Okay, so insurance premiums also will be given to the deceased person or to the injured person. Okay, that's insurance premiums. Okay, like that. Another is company will pay for the cost of replacement. Okay, the cost of repair for the damaged products, like this, for the damage of the equipment. Okay, for the damage of any wasted raw materials during the accident, they will pay also. Okay, so very big loss in terms of cost. Okay, like that. Cost of replacement, cost of repair, something like that. Okay, that's very clear. Okay, and then the damage also of the products. Okay, the cost of the products, of course, and then the raw materials, like that. Medical cost. Okay, medical claims of the injured person. The company will give the medical claims. They will have to bring that guy to the hospital, and everything will be paid and shouldered by the company. That is medical claim. Okay, so that will be the effects of accidents to the workers. There are a lot of effects of accidents to the employers compared to the effects of accidents to the workers. That's why the companies and the factories or any industries have a separate entity, have a separate department, an autonomy department to govern about preventing injuries in the workplaces so that there will be no incidents and accidents that will be happening, and they are having a separate department, what is called as Occupational and Safety and Health Department. Okay, 10, right? 10 effects of accidents to the workers, no, to the employers. And there are only 6 effects of accidents to the workers or the employees. So imagine like that. But since you are an individual, you're an employee, so you're workers, of course, you will never focus on that. You will focus on yourself, that you will work safely as much as I could. Okay, because there are a lot of effects. And I will not rely on that. I will work safely above all things. Okay. Now, all you have to do is to follow the 3 fundamental rights, okay, of the workplaces. If you do a lot of various work in the workplaces, workplaces or various scope of works, then you have to know the hazards. What are the health and safety matters in your workplaces, and you have the right to pay in decisions, okay, that make your workplace safe and the safety of others, okay? You have to participate. Sir, we need this one. Sir, we need this one. Because if I will do this, I will be in trouble. I will get injured. We will be harmed if we will not provide this one. So, you have in making your workplace safe to you and to other workers, okay? And number 3 fundamental right, you have the right to participate, or you have the right really to refuse unsafe work or works that could affect the health and safety of your own and could affect the health and safety of others. So, these are the 3 fundamental rights of workers or employees under Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1970 and Occupational Health Safety and Act of 2004. So this is a law, this is a legislation, this is a legal requirement. Now, if the workers are not aware for this, it's a role of the safety department or the safety person will teach them that these are the legal rules that the employers must understand in order to protect your rights to work safely and properly in your function as an employee. Since not anybody understands this, most of the times, most are OSH professionals, that's why we are here to teach and to give information that we have the right, the fundamental rights as per OSHA's Act of 1970 and 2004, in which also maybe the management of the company are not aware also. So we need to educate. Okay, so that's why we have health and safety training and education to every department so that they will be aware what's going on in terms of safety legislation, safety law, safety procedure, or whatever aspects in safety that will be able to teach them so that they will be aware what's going on in terms of safety so that we can prevent injuries out of those incidents and accidents that will be happening in the future. Oh, it's very clear, right? So that's gonna be like that. Okay, so we should be aware what's happening regarding to OSH. And it's our role to have the health and safety training. It could be an in-house training also. So, meaning to say, if a company or in any industry, you should have an in-house safety training rooms, okay, because it's part, or it is one of the elements of the safety program. Because if you don't have a safety training, technically your safety department is not functioning a legit and a genuine safety department, because it's all started with health and safety education. You have to teach safety basic knowledge to the people so that they can understand what are the basic safety rules and regulations to be followed so that they can work safely and efficiently to get a productivity that is a very good, productive and efficient production, okay, and a quality output, something like that. Okay, so that's very important. That's one of the elements of the safety program, is to give health and safety training. Okay, though there are other companies that don't understand really what's going on, Okay, especially if they are governed with a traditional and conventional way of safety department, or they are hiring the safety personnel that are not qualified in that position. Okay, especially if the applicants are just cheating their credentials and qualifications, not to mention, but this is real situation, then the company will suffer also because those guys are not competent enough to do their task being as an OSH professional. Now, if I am a company and I am an employer, I must be clever enough and smart enough to choose the best and the appropriate, okay, OSH candidate and applicant for my company, okay, because it helps a lot to prevent injuries and to improve the health and safety performance of my company. Okay, if I will only choose a people that is cheating his credentials, then the organizations will be affected, okay, because he or she don't have experience in OSH. He is just working in another department before, and he is hired to be a safety for the very first time in the company, and the company is, for example, is a power plant, then he has no enough knowledge. How can he do that? Okay, yes, granting because he's an engineer, but he needs trainings internationally. For example, IOSH, International Occupational Safety and Health, NEBUSH, National Examination for Board and Occupational Safety and Health, OSHA 18001-2007, Occupational Safety Health and Administration Series of 18000-2007, ISO 45001-2018. We need to have that kind of candidates and applicants that have an adequate knowledge or competent enough to cater and to function his roles and responsibilities as a safety professional, so that to uplift the safety performance of that particular industries. Okay, lucky for those companies that they are selecting the most qualified OSH. But what if 10 years, 15 years, 20 years using that kind of incompetent safety professionals, then the organizations will be affected. When you come there, there's no safety procedure. When you come there, so many missing items. Okay, so you have to adjust the way, the wrong culture of safety, okay, aspects. And then it will become difficult also for the OSH to implement those programs because he cannot also discuss properly because the previous safety administration don't deliver the kind of quality safety trainings that they must receive supposedly. Okay? Like, because health and safety training is a part of a training plan as one of the elements of the safety program. So if that doesn't really exist in an OSH department, so that is not a legit of a safety program. I don't have to mention because this topic is not about safety program. Reporting and investigation. Actually, I go farther. I go beyond to the subject and topic, but it's related. That's why I connect it with the topic of incident and accident reporting and investigation. Okay, like that. Okay, so we need also a professional or OSH that have so many trainings, international trainings. Okay, not only like this, blah, 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 cheating of the qualifications and credentials, especially OSH, okay? Like that is the role of the HR department to select the best and knowledgeable OSH professional, experienced, trained, okay? So many trainings, whether it is local and international safety trainings acquired by those applicants before hiring that in a certain organization to uplift the safety performance of that organization. Okay, very clear? My gosh, too much talking. Okay, it's very clear now. Do I have to discuss it again? We need to have a competent OSH professional based on the trained acquired, safety trainings acquired, international safety trainings acquired, competency, experience, skills, and qualifications. Okay, higher qualifications, for example, an engineer like that, or finishes college education. Okay, because they can interpret well safety documentation system. Okay, so it should be like that, supposedly. But we cannot troubleshoot perfect organization sometimes, so that's why it happens. But all we have to do is to improve. Okay, like that, and do it gradually. What's best for safety? Okay, gonna be like that. Okay, so long na talaga siya. So that's it for the introduction, right? Why so long the introduction? Oh my gosh, it takes me 15 minutes for the introduction. Oh my gosh, what's happening. Okay, and our resources, I'll go directly to the resource. Our scope muna siya. Okay, the scope will be all workers must report any type of incidents and accidents using the 5 W's and 1 H. What, where, when, why, and how. Like that. Okay, they will report that immediately to their direct supervisors, like that, and then they will inform also the head, the departmental head, so that your department managers also know what's going on. Okay, like that, and report to the safety department. Okay, it would be another story if there's an injury. You will report first to the first aiders, certified first aiders and the nurses, because if you don't report first to them, the pain and suffering, the wounds and lacerations will become delayed. It will become big, because safety professional cannot give that kind of treatment because we are not medical professional. Okay, like that. So you can still inform us, but inform first the first aiders, okay, or the medical professionals or the paramedic. Okay, like that, in case of there are injuries. Okay, that's the procedure. So anybody can report. Could it be the temporary employees, the suppliers, the vendors, the outsourced personnel, the vendors that will be visiting that particular workplaces, and it happens, accidents happen there, then they have also the right to report immediately to the immediate supervisor in a particular scope of works, and after to the safety or to the nurse, like that, blah, blah, blah. It depends on the situation. Actually, we have a defined procedure for that, like that, in our company. Then you can just, if you have also in your company, then you can go and read it properly. Okay, it's just basically generic. You know, generic is just become typical only. Okay, only it matters for some facilities because we don't have the same technology used. The general concept is just totally the same. Okay, it will not change. Okay, that's what's being discussed in the bush. Okay, the proper way of how to report and how to investigate any potential incidents and accidents that will be happening in a certain work environment, regardless to what types of industries you have now. Okay, it's very clear. The scope is for anybody. Okay, and the boundaries will matter a lot also. Okay, you can report within plant premises. Okay, and you can also report outside the plant interface, but at least very near or nearby the plant interface. Okay, because you don't have to report if it is outside from your plant interface, meaning boundary. Okay, unless your people is working there, the same company working in that outside boundary, you still have to report that because that's your people. Okay, so you have to protect the people of that company because that's an asset of the company. Okay, you have to report that one. So very, very big impact if there's an injuries that will be happening for those guys, even though they are working outside from the plant boundaries. Okay, this is work related only. It's not involved in only sitting. They are just doing the like this. They're not doing the job. This is because I'm talking with work related injuries and accidents. Okay, so you have to report that one. Okay, the plant boundaries very near to your plant, very near to the factory. You have also to report that one. And even also in the, for example, if your company has company housing, then you have to report also incidents and accidents related to work activities only, because it's not covered also the disease. It's not covered also like that because they are not working. For example, somebody died because of heart attack. They will not be covered because they are not in the work related. Okay. What I mean, when they are working, they die like this injury, so that could be reported even though you are in the housing. For example, for this are the maintenance workers, the cleaners, the electricians that are working in the camp, right? They are working their job. If somebody happens to them, they will be protected in case of any injuries, so they must be also reported in the safety department. Okay, unless to those people that who are only sleeping, eating chop, so that's not covered. Of course, because they are not working. We're referring only to occupational, work-related, ill health diseases and injuries. That's why we are trying to prevent, and that's our main role, to avoid and prevent those from existing. Okay, like that. And we need to troubleshoot. We need to have some steps, procedures, the proactive way of doing steps and measures to mitigate the potential incidents and accidents in our organization, something like that. Okay, it's very clear. Okay, that's gonna be like that. So that's the scope. Okay, we go now to our resources. Our resources will be the, again, the people itself, the workers, the supervisors, the engineers, the managers, because these are the people who will try to communicate with each other, okay, during incident accident will be happening. The people itself are the human resources. Okay, number two, the paper, you have to write what's really happening at the time. You have to take note what's the date, what's the exact location, who is injured, who are the witnesses, why it happens. We need to write on the paper. Okay? Number three, we need to communicate that also in the emailing system through in the computer. You have to email that these incidents are happening, like that, blah, 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 so and so. Then you have to report that firstly within 24 hours, much as possible, as quickly as you can, immediately as you can. Okay, like that. Within 24 hours, and it will not go beyond that. Okay, emailing system, the computer. What else? The ball pen, the warning tape. What else? A lot of things to be prepared. The ambulance, if there are injuries, the medical treatment, first aid treatment medicines, like that, anything, the stretcher, or any incident rescue if there are injuries will be happening, rescue equipment, the mobile phones during communication, or if you have a landline phone, you have to use that one, so landline phone. Okay, those are our resources. The warning tape to be cordoned or to have a barricade on the particular incident scene so that you can properly investigate what's happening, what's going on. Okay, nobody touches because it adds reliability to your report. Okay, it will matters a lot. So don't touch anything, especially if there are damage, worse damages, big damages, and there are injuries. You can just put barricade. It will add for your investigation reliability. Okay. Factual information, because incidents and accident investigation must be factual investigation, not making stories. That's why if the safety department received that only through papers, we will think normally that there's a cheating of information. That's why we need to ensure that it should be reported on actual, so that we can see what's happening on the spot. It's not enough to receive the reports only through email and through papers without seeing the actual situation. But there are occasions like that because that department are too much Alibaba, okay? They don't want to share information because they think they will be penalty or penalized if they will report the incident accident. They will be blamed if they will report the incident accident. It's not like that. As I said earlier, incident and accident reporting purpose is not to blame anybody. That is not fault-finding information. That is not filing a sanction, okay, to those who commit mistakes and errors during the accidents. Our main purpose really is to have a root cause analysis to troubleshoot and to come up with the best preventive and corrective measures so that accidents will be happening again, will not be happening again, and so that we cannot create another potential incidents and accidents that will be happening based on the lessons learned that we obtained for that particular incidents and accidents. So this is really the theory that some employers and some employees don't understand. And it goes back also to the safety department or the safety personnel did not teach these employers and these workers that this is gonna be the best way to express the purpose and the objective of incidents and accident and investigation. Now, for example, if the previous safety administration is not doing that kind of training to the people, they will think of themselves that if they report incident and accidents, they will be penalized, they will be blamed, they will be in bad reputation. It's not like that. We need to solve it to prevent it from happening again. Not fault finding, it is factual finding analysis. That is the purpose of incident and accident investigation, reporting, and analysis. Okay. Not only that, we have to trend also the accidents through graph. Okay, we graph that one also, which particular department produces the highest number of incidents and accidents, so that we can formulate a trainings that is effective to them and applicable to them, so that we can also lesser that in the coming days. Okay, or we can prevent that completely to happen again. Okay, something like that. So there's a relevance of making a training plan out of it, and we have to conduct an incident and accident trending analysis. Now, if the past safety administration, for example, don't have that incident and accident trend analysis, again, there will be have a poor safety performance, okay? Because they don't track what's really happening, what's going on, and they don't share some safety information to the entire organizations, okay? Because a competent and a smart edge professional must understand really that spreading of information is the right of the employees to receive. Okay, like that. So it should be shared to anybody else. We don't protect any reputation. We don't protect any levels of organization. As long as they are aware what's happening inside the organization, then we need to protect ourselves from any injuries. Then we need to communicate that into a mailing system. Okay, like that in entire organization, so that everybody will be aware. Okay, it's a wrong concept that we need to select only some people to receive the email information regarding incident and accident, because it is the right of the workers to know what's going on, the health and safety information, which is the number one fundamental right of the workers according or as per as Occupational Safety Health Act of 1970 or 2004. See, there's a relevance with the legal requirement. So those people are saying like that, we are protecting that, like that. It's wrong, really. But if the OSH professional have knowledgeable enough to do that, then he will continue to do that, okay? Because that's a right of the workers to know what's going on in terms of health and safety matters in the workplace, okay? Now I'm talking to the introduction, and finished with the scope, and finished with the resources, and now we go to the what else? Summary. Okay, summary lang tayo kasi medyo mahaba na talaga eh. Okay? I am very talkative. Okay? 1 hour and 2 minutes. Okay? I will go to the summary, and the summary is like an introduction, right? So, incident and accident is very important, okay, to improve the morale of the employees, to increase efficiency of the workers, and to increase the productivity of the company, to ensure a business operation sustainability. Okay, this incident and accident reporting is very important in order for us to achieve a higher percentage of in terms of our safety performance reports based on the safety statistics reports in our records of incidents and accidents. And this is very, very important to learn a lessons out of it, and then we can come up with the most effective control measures and preventive measures so that incidents and accidents will not be happening again. Because if incidents and accidents will be happening and there will be a damage to properties, facilities, technologies, and to the environment, there will be a lot of losses, especially if there is a loss of life, death, fatality, and catastrophic events that will be happening in the workplace. Then there's so many costs that will be lost from the company, and then there will be a lot of losses. Okay, something like that. So that is really, really relevant to increase our safety performance report based on our calibration of our continual OHS performances. Okay, how can we calibrate the OHS performances, occupational health and safety performances, is through the managing carefully and properly our OHS associated risks and potential hazards in our area to area within our company. And we need to assess, we need to identify, we need to evaluate what's really going on. Like that, you have to ask a question. Because the most intelligent question is why? Why like this? Why like this? Because that why question is allow the individual to think effectively and deeply. Oh, okay, so that's why brainstorming will come in. And after gathering of so much ideas, and we can come up to the most reliable one, and we have to reject those ideas that are not very important, then we can come up to the most important ideas, factual data information, then we can come up with our final conclusion. Okay, something like our final conclusion will be based on the factual finding analysis during our investigation, something like that. Okay, so that's our summary, and then if you try to put that in a flow chart, because we don't have a visual slide here to present to you so that we can understand properly. So incident, accident, investigation, and reporting. My tongue is thrown again. Okay, it starts with gathering the data, okay, like that. I don't have the blackboard to express it properly to you. Okay, we need to gather the data, okay, and then after that one, we have to analyze the facts. Remember facts, okay, F-A-C-T. So we don't entertain chismis. We don't entertain hearsays. We don't entertain fake news. We don't entertain scams. We don't entertain fraud. We don't entertain dishonesty. We don't entertain cheating. We don't entertain false statements because this is analyzing the facts, the reality, the truth, something like that. This is number 2 in our flowchart. After gathering the data, we need to analyze the facts. And after that one, we need to integrate evidences. Because how can we be sure that our data are factual if we don't have evidences and proofs to account that facts? So we cannot validate that one without any evidences and proofs to measure our facts and evidences. That's why the safety personnel will go on the spot to measure really, to calibrate on the spot that it's really a fact what's going on. We need to integrate, meaning to say we need to gather witnesses, ask questions to supervisors, ask questions to the foreman or anybody who observed and saw the incidents happening in the particular area so that we can integrate the evidences. So that's number 3. And after that one, we can draw conclusion. Okay, our conclusion at first, at initial stages, will be based on the causal factors, C-A-S-U-A-L, that we can say, okay, that's going to be the cause like that after we have the data inputs already in our hands. Okay, it could be the direct causes, what it happened, it could be an indirect causes like that. Not really direct cause, because this is only a draw. We need to draw, meaning to say there's data gathered, compiled, but not really that exact or the correct or the final output, okay? But based on the direct causes, indirect causes, causal factors, human factors, errors, negligence, like that, we gather that one, compile, okay? And then after draw the conclusion, we need to have the final conclusion. Okay, going back to the draw conclusion, the draw conclusion, if we try that to put in a scientific approach, this draw conclusion is our hypothesis. Okay, hypothesis meaning we gather all the data based on our educated guess, but not really the factual information yet. Okay, when we go to the final conclusion, this is now our final statement, our factual information based on the data we gathered, we integrate, we drew data, blah blah blah. We can come up now with a final report due to our final investigations, due to those factual data gathered. Okay, to wrap up with the incident and accident reporting investigation flowchart, first, collect data, gather the data, analyze the facts, integrate the evidences, draw conclusions, and formulate and come up with a final conclusion. Our final conclusion will be based on our final report. There, you already inputted and incorporated what are your best corrective and preventive measures based on the lessons learned. Okay, what you did or what you acquired during the incident and accidents that are already happening in the certain workplaces. Is very clear? Or I'm talking too fast? Okay, so that's very clear in incident and accident reporting and investigation flowcharts. By the way, I'll just try to make it more short generally because that generic reporting is just the same in every industry, whether it's construction industry, general industry. Though the legislation, the safety legislation and the OSHA federal regulation changes a little bit when you are working in a general industry, we're working in the construction industry, you're working in the maritime industry, in the shipyard industry. There's a little bit changes in the OSHA standards, okay? But in terms of generic regarding safety procedures, to whatever aspects of safety aspects, it's just totally the same. It only matters a little bit because the particular company has a new technology that is not found on another plant, but that could still be manageable. Okay, if you hire a very competent OSH professional that is highly qualified and have so many safety trainings, acquired skills and experience, something like that. Okay, it depends on the capability of the OSH department with the cooperation of the different departments with the management commitment, responsibility, and accountability. Because if the management will not help, they will not relay or they will not give their full support, commitment, responsibility, and accountability, then the organization will be destabilized in terms of OSH aspects. So that's why we need the management, commitment, responsibility, and accountability, which is the number one element of the safety program. Okay, imagine that's the number one element of safety program, and not anybody knows that, but it is the number one. Okay, so the number one element of the safety program is to commit, the management must have a commitment to safety, to provide a safe place of work, safe place of equipment, safe work environment, to protect the people from any injuries, to avoid accidents and incidents, right? So you have a clear safety policy or a safety manual in conjunction with your safety program. That is the number one element of a safety program. So in short, the safety department would have actually a training to all departments so that they can understand also the mechanics of what are really the topics and subjects of safety, because it's not all about PPE. It's more. It's not all about the equipment. There's a lot more to discuss. Okay, not only that. Okay, so since you are working in a different organizations or whatever, you should be flexible enough also. Then there are also things that you cannot share at this moment in time. You will reserve first the knowledge that you have on yourself. Then later on, you can apply that later on for improvement or for polishing the safety performance of your organization. Okay, because you don't have to spoon feed everything. Okay, because they will abuse the safety department also. Let them think also what is the safest way to do their job, because we have eyes to protect, to see the dangers before they proceed the job. Okay, anyway, we will report if there will be happening. Okay, something like accidents that will be happening. But the best, they should attend and participate in the health and safety trainings as governed in the training plan of the safety department. Something like that, you have to travel annually, like that. You have you prepared already the different subjects to be discussed to the workers, okay, like that. January, February, March, like you have a specific training, for example, manual handling, like that, ergonomic hazards, like this, types of physical hazards, and equipment safety, vehicle operation safety, like this, like that, and a lot more, engineering controls, okay, musculoskeletal disorders topic, okay, not all can learn this unless your OSH professional is knowledgeable enough and competent enough that have adequate knowledge towards the overall mechanics of OSH world, something like that, because you will not focus only on PPE. PPE is the very basic only. There's a lot more to serve, or there's a lot more to learn about OSH, okay, especially in terms of engineering controls. Okay, and a lot of administrative controls and a lot of safety legislations. That's why in my procedure I always mention based on the OSHA standards, because we cannot create our own standard without basing the backbone of the OSHA standards applied globally. Okay, that's why we have ISO. Okay, we have International Organization for Standardization. Okay, because this is an international standard or an independent governmental international organization that will establish and create standards or develop standards to ensure the quality, safety, efficiency, and the products and services and systems of all the plants globally in the entire world. So this is ISO. Okay, we have ISO 9001, ISO 14001, and in safety we have the new standard ISO 45001 to 2018. At least your OSH must have adequate knowledge of the safety legislation. In case of any disputes to whatever competitions, then the safety can defend the company in terms of any litigation process or any hearing process regarding in the court. So your OSH must be clever enough that he can understand really what's going on with the safety standards, like that. What standards is we use now, like this, and we follow that. Okay, this is not a joke. This is not a game. Every time we spoke regarding safety, it governed with the OSHA standards. Okay, like that, and the OSH professional must be familiar also like that. It's not enough PPE, like it's not enough like that. There's more to learn about OSH. Okay, why we need to wear this helmet is based also on the OSHA standard, because there is an OSHA standard 29 CFR 1910 1.135 like this, and it based on the American National Standard Institute of Z89.1 requirements in the ISO, International Organization Standardization. So we are not making our own procedure, it basing on the backbone of the ISO, International Organization Standardization, for safety, quality, and efficiency of products, systems, and services. Imagine products, services, and systems. Systems talking about the methodology, the procedure of how you carry your job safely. Okay, could it be quality department? It could be a production department. You must have your own system in order you can have a polished and organized way of producing your outputs and products, something like that. Okay, and you must also follow the ISO 9001 for the quality management systems for that. Okay, then if you're focusing for the effects and the exposures to the environment regarding preventing pollution, then you must know also the ISO 14001, which is the environmental management system. Okay, if you know about OSH aspects, then you have to know the ISO 45001 to 2018. So this is the most latest one, the ISO 45001 in OSH. Okay, like that. International Organization Standardization. Okay, 45001 to 2018 for safety. Actually, we have new safety rules and regulations already propagated all over the world. Some of the organizations are applying already, others are not yet. Okay, but time will come, it will be applied. Because the focus of ISO 45001 2018 specifies requirements for OSH, so meaning additional safety requirements, something like that. Okay, so this is more on the interaction of the business environment and the organization to manage the OHS risks in order to proactively improve the OHS performance, occupational health and safety performance, something like that. And then this will serve as our guidance really to use this one in order also the organization to provide the a way of monitoring and inspecting the sites regarding OSH, okay, and try to have a different way of methodology, how to conduct health and safety assessment in our workplaces, thereby preventing injuries, work-related injuries, and occupational health diseases and sickness. Sickness, ill health diseases are just the same, like the illnesses, ill health disease and sickness is just the same under health hazards, because our focus are two: health hazards and safety hazards. Safety hazards will be more on the workplace, and then the health hazards will be more on the health of any individual, because the people will be affected towards their work if they don't have a good health in doing the work, if they are not able to do the work, okay, if they are not physically fit to work. That's the purpose behind